Skip it up and that up.
Thomas Mahler, he's the CEO of Moon Studios. They made the game Ori and the Blind Forest. He had some interesting things to say regarding the Xbox Project Scorpio and the PS4 Pro. And what he had to say about the PS4 Pro isn't pretty. Now, Thomas actually talked about Project Scorpio and the PS4 Pro in a NeoGAF thread, and this is what he had to say. Scorpio is a next-gen machine with the added benefit that all your old games will still be compatible. And he continues, and this is where he throws shade at the PS4 Pro. I guess since NeoGAF is confused, Microsoft will need to do a little work to make it clear to everyone that Scorpio isn't just a half-assed upgrade, which the PS4 Pro kind of is. Yes, he actually said that. But a full-blown next-gen machine that's just backwards compatible to your current library. Thomas has also called out Sony and Microsoft before regarding these mid-gen console refreshes, saying that they're secretive to a stupid degree, and he was pissed off because he's like, yeah, I want to know your target specs so I can develop games for those target specs. Why aren't you telling me? So he kind of speaks his mind. He doesn't really hold back how he feels about the gaming industry, which I like. So two things there. Do I agree with him that the PS4 Pro is a half-ass upgrade? Kind of, but we'll have to wait and see. It'll be interesting to see what happens when the Scorpio and PS4 Pro are out in the market. And the Scorpio it seems to be significantly more powerful than the PS4 Pro on paper, but does that translate, I've said this before, does that translate over to real world performance? Are we gonna see those benefits as much as Microsoft's making it out to be on the actual screen? Because if there is that much of a gap, and in the future, if Sony and Microsoft allow developers to only make games for the Pro and the Scorpio, are we just going to see, Xbox Scorpio exclusive games because the system's so much more powerful than PS4 Pro that it can't handle it? I'm leaning towards no, that won't happen, especially with how big the PS4 install base is, but you don't know, okay? And again, maybe it's just on paper. Maybe in real world performance, the performance gap, even though, 6 teraflops and 4 teraflops is for the Scorpio and 4 teraflops and change for the PS4 Pro, maybe the difference isn't that big and it's, the games won't perform that much different. I don't know. I'm not a hardware engineer and I haven't played a Scorpio yet. So maybe there is a huge difference. The Scorpio is truly a lot more powerful than the PS4 Pro. So we're going to have to wait and see what the future holds. Because like I said, if Sony and Microsoft get rid of the policy where they have to make games for the original PS4 and the original Xbox One, and there is that big performance gap, will games look a shitload better on the Scorpio? Or will there be Scorpio only games because they just won't run on the PS4 Pro? I'm just throwing a whole bunch of random thoughts out there that I'm thinking as I'm making this video. And that probably won't happen, to be quite honest with you. But the future's going to be interesting, man. Everything's kind of like up in the air right now. Now, he goes on and says that the Xbox Scorpio, or Project Scorpio, is a true next-gen console that just so happens to be backwards compatible. And I'm kind of like, how is that true? If the games have to run on both systems, the Scorpio is going, and they keep that policy. Okay, the Scorpio is going to be held back by the original Xbox One because the games have to run on both platforms. And there's going to be things that the Scorpio can do that the Xbox One can't. And maybe there's game modes. Like I say, Microsoft does keep the policy. I know I'm playing devil's advocate here and going back and forth, but let's say Microsoft does keep the policy that the games have to run on the original Xbox One and the Scorpio at the same time throughout the entire life of the Scorpio and the Xbox One. They never give up on that policy. There's going to be things that the Scorpio can do that the Xbox One can't, so maybe there's game modes that they can't include, developers can't include. Maybe there'll be multiplayer modes developers can't include. So if Microsoft keeps that policy, then the Scorpio really isn't a next-gen system because it's always going to be held back this generation by the original Xbox One. So that statement he made kind of just doesn't hold any weight. That is, if Microsoft keeps the policy that games always have to run on the Xbox One and Project Scorpio. If they don't keep that policy, then maybe the Project Scorpio will be considered a true next-gen system. All I can say is between the Switch, between the PS4 Pro, between the Scorpio, all these new systems out there, these half-gen refreshes, a totally new system from Nintendo, 2017 is gonna be a hell of a gaming year, man. And what's gonna happen next, I don't think anybody, any veteran of the industry can predict. I sure as hell can't, and I'm not even a veteran, so we'll just have to wait and see. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a hell of a ride. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.